Since the UFC begins, there have been a lot of stories. There have been a lot of legacies. There have been a lot of records. There have been a lot of legends. There have been a lot of winning streak. There have been legends, like I said. There have been goats. We could call different goats. Johnson Pierre, John Jones, Khabib, which had tremendous record. Khabib, remember guys, Khabib didn't even lose a fight. Khabib never lost a round. Khabib defeated his opponent in the first round. Finishes. When Khabib fights, you know that he has 99.9% finish rate. John Jones. John Jones never lost a fight. John Jones, the only fight he lost was the one he was disqualified. He has massive record. So we could consider John Jones, Khabib Nurmagomedov, goats of the MMA world. Should we talk about Johnson Pierre? Should we talk about different names? DC, who has been double champ, Conor McGregor, who has been double champ, Henry Cejudo, who has been triple champ. A lot of them, there have been a lot of records broken in recent years, or since when the UFC came out. There have been different names, big names for that matter. Names who have come and left their legacy. Are we going to talk about Amanda Nunes? Are we going to talk about Shevchenko? Are we going to, their names, guys. They are literally names. Kamaru Usman, Alex Pereira, who has done the inevitable, who is about to do the most historical one, if he actually fights for the heavyweight belt. But there is something, all these names, I could call names, I could call legends, I could call most of them, but there is something most of them hasn't done, which is about to be done before the end of the year. We could call about impressive fights, impressive finish. Charles Oliveira is the man with the most finishes in the UFC, whether knockout or whether submission. We could talk about a lot of them. The fastest finish by Merab, what's his name? I've forgotten his name. Somebody remind me there. But there are a lot of history being made. There are a lot of history making fights, history making finishes, history making legacy in UFC. But there is none. No one will come outside and say they were going to do, or they were going to think of fighting 4 times in a year. Khabib Nurmagomedov defeated his opponent in the first, second round maximum. Khabib enters a fight, never sweat, never enter into a brawling fight where his face was disfigured. Khabib goes in and come out the way he came in. But Khabib never fought 4 times a year. And that is why we have to talk about Merab Dvalishvili. Merab is about to go on an historical, like the first time in an history, somebody going into a year fighting 4 times as a champion. That is difficult. And I hope, guys, Merab get this one. Because we are talking about, guys, before we proceed, I've been talking about pound for pound. And pound for pound, people are kind of neglecting it. I don't know why the UFC are giving Ilia Topuria that number 1. For me, the pound for pound has to be Merab Dvalishvili, because Merab has been the most active fighter 2 years running now. Last year he fought 3 times. This year is going on a 4th time. And if he completes the 4th victory, like literally he has to be talked about when it comes to GOAT status in the history of the MMA. And holy God, he does it. We're talking about Merab just finishing Corey Sandhagen in the last fight, in recent fight. And Merab is already thinking of fighting in December. And he got his fight, guys. He got his fight against Peter Yan. And guys, honestly, how can't you just not give this guy his flowers? Give this guy what he deserves. This is not somebody who talks and never does. This is somebody who asks and he does it. And UFC, most of the time, UFC never give fighters what they wanted. Most of the time, UFC never give fighters what they ever asked of. But this time, UFC know that this guy is going to break history. He's going to break records. And Merab Dvalishvili is a guy who is comforted with what he has. He's in that weight class. He could literally move up to fight Alex Volkanovski, but he neglected that for his friend. He said his friend is fighting in that weight division. and he's not going to move up to the heavyweight division. He's fine where he is. But if the UFC ask him to fight Alex Volkanovski, who are you easy to say no? Then actually, the next thing for Merab Dvalishvili to do is just move up and fight Alex Volkanovski. But he has one legacy to fulfill, which is fight 4 times, which Khabib never did. John Jones never did. DC never did. Kamaru Usman never did. Is he Alex Pereira? He only did 3 times. We're talking about recent champions. Islam Makhachev never fought 3 times a year. Ilia Topuria, who I think is one of the most interesting fighters, explosive fighters, superstars in the UFC at the moment, could not even fight 2 times a year, not to talk of 4 times. And you're putting him in pound for pound. Guys, I don't know if my argument is straightforward. I don't know how you guys see it, but I think if Merab be able to pull this off by the end of the year, remain still your champion in the bantamweight. Guys, I literally have nothing. You guys literally have nothing to say against this guy as to be the pound for pound number and to be one of the greatest. One of the greatest to ever step foot in the octagon. Because if you think, okay, John Jones defeated a lot of killers, Khabib defeated a lot of killers, you could mention the names of their opponents, you could mention a lot of them. But guys, let's be honest here, guys. Even the bantamweight has killers. Are we going to talk about Umar Nurmagomedov, Sugar Sean Wali, who was ex-champion? Are we going to talk about Cory Sandhagen? Remember, Merab has defeated a lot of fighters. He's undefeated. And his next fight now is not just fighting to be the champion at the end of the year or fighting for the 4th time this year to remain champion. He's fighting for his legacy as well. He is 1 win away to equaling Kamaru Usman's legacy, Khabib legacy, and Islam legacy. Imagine if he fight that one, and the next year he goes on and do another 2 or 3 times victory. He is the highest. He is the man with the highest defense of the title. So what is left? What is left for Merab not to do? This is what other champions are dreaming of doing. But this guy is a machine. It's high time we all give this guy his flowers. It's high time we all come out and say, Merab is rightfully the #1 pound for pound. As long as you cannot break the record he did, he's doing now. Because I'm telling you guys, if Merab could pull this off, end the year with the 4th win, 4th title defense, until he retires, he has to be the pound for pound. Because the recent rosters, none of them are fighting at the moment. Even 3 times. Tell me one champion currently in the UFC who is fighting 3 times. In the last 1-2 years, we could say Poatan. But Poatan, I don't know if he could fight 4 times. But Poatan, as he is, he's going there, he's taking damages. He's going to come back again with damages. But Merab goes in, dominates fights, and come back as clean as somebody who has never even touched the octagon. That is remarkable. Really, really remarkable. Guys, I want to know what you think. I want to know for you, if Merab could be able to pull this off, is he supposed to be considered a pound for pound? And not just pound for pound, one of the greatest to ever do it. I leave the question and leave the answer to you guys. I'll be reading down the comments below and I'll respond to each and every one of you. Until next time, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends there's a new channel in town who is ready to bring out every content, sporting content you ever want. Until next time, peace.